Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here with Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour.
Yes, hello, everybody. Welcome to Power Hour 168. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hope you're having a good one. We are still in recovery mode.
Woo! I returned finally to too many games. It was long overdue, and it was a shit ton of fun. But man, oh man, was it tiring.
Yeah, we are getting older very quickly by the year.
We also drank what most people would call an excessive amount.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We're going to do a little wrap up on tonight of, give you a little overview of our day. But then we're going to have a special little episode later on in the week where we sit down with our buddy Dan, who we roomed with.
Yep.
Dan from Console Wars, to go over all this. Oh, boy.
The retelling of the stories, if it were.
Yeah, to put it out. But we might need three different perspectives. Because, even when I was going through, the list of, people we talked to or that I ran into or just briefly said hi to, until I, saw them post something today, I was like, oh, shit, I did meet that person. It was when I was in that nice little, midday blackout I had going on.
But we're here now. It's Monday, and Chambers, I told you I went to Wildwood, so I decided to bring back some beers. So the first one, now this isn't necessarily from Wildwood. This was a beer store right down the road that I decided to grab something.
Okay.
It seemed like a perfect beach beer, and god damn it, I was right. The mango smoothie from Flying Fish Company. It's their wheat ale with mango, only 5%. Did you already take a sip?
No, not yet.
So try that out.
Ooh, that is a citrusy boy with the aroma.
Yeah, it surprisingly has notes of mango, tropical, and passion fruit, and it's best paired with summer late nights and pool parties.
Ooh, that is tasty. That is a fruity boy.
Yeah, and especially being on the beach, it was a nice.
Mine has less jizzy bottom than you do.
The cummies.
Yeah.
This one, with wheat ales, especially since they're unfiltered, you're gonna expect it. And whenever you have more citrusy beers like this, you're probably gonna get just a little bit more sediment. So
you just have straight pulp at your bottom.
Yeah, it's for a wheat beer, it is. It's called a smoothie. It is thick.
It's thick, but also really smooth.
Yeah, it goes down easy, but you're wow, the mouthfeel is pretty insane on this one. And I'll be honest, I think we've talked about this. Flying Fish never.
It's not a wow brewery.
No. So
it's
this one
a solid brewery, but it's never whoa.
Doesn't doesn't knock your socks off, I should say. And
doesn't blow your cock off.
Damn it, Jim.
That's what you wanted to say. I can see it in your eyes, your whore eyes.
I'm the victim. Jim, I forgot to announce you as the king of handshakes.
You can expect that in the bonus episode later.
But this one is surprisingly good from them. So, not to shit on them, but this is really good. So,
It's going to be a fun bonus episode. I should say it's not going to be one of our paywalled bonus episodes. It'll just be an extra little snippet for everybody out there.
Yeah, instead of, because we wanted to have Dan on a full episode, schedules are busy, so we didn't want to delay the podcast. And honestly, like Jim said, even when we recap quickly for us this episode, we'll dive into other things, get Dan's perspective.
And it wouldn't be fair for us to sum up Dan's stories without Dan here.
Of course not. We don't want to rob him of the stories.
Of the glory.
So, we will get to the games we got at the actual convention, but have you been able to play anything this past week?
Couple things. So I finished up Mario and Rabbids on the Switch. Fun game. I'll get to it more when we do the level 50 update, but I'll say it's slightly overstayed its welcome by the end.
Okay.
Because it took me probably 23 hours to get through the main story mode.
Yeah.
That was way more than I was expecting. So, but no, it's a fun game. Definitely a good introduction to tactical-based combat games. They have puzzles between every fight basically to break it up, but the puzzles you get sick of.
Yeah, I was gonna say they probably are it could have been every 2 stages.
Sometimes it was every 2 stages, but it could have been every
10.
3 to 4. Nowhere every 10. Yeah. But solid game though. You get a shitload of content out of that game, and the DLC for it's free now. So, it automatically downloads as an update when you put it on your thing. And apparently that DLC is extremely long too. So, Yeah, I mean, if you want a good, fun, tactical game, shitload of content, and it's always cheap. Like, even physicals are stupid cheap, so.
Am I alone? You and I do the same thing. We always get games when they have everything bundled, but I swear anymore, when I play the main story and I'm
never get to
done,
the
I
bundle.
don't do the DLC. So I'm kind of like, why do I keep getting these? Like, there's something in
Dollar
my
value,
mind.
Brian.
It is.
Dollar
It
value.
is. It
Future
is.
proofing.
You're right. But man, oh man, like I did it with most of the Fallouts. Like I beat those games and I'm like, do I want to do another 40 hours? I just need a palate cleanse.
Yeah.
And then I forget and I need to go back. So yeah, it's one of those things I think you do the same exact thing.
Yeah, I'm definitely at that point. More so than you at this point, too, probably.
Yeah.
But besides that, I've been actually got time to sit down and play through more of Halo Wars 2. So
Okay.
it's fun game. It's definitely getting into the part where it's like, way more hectic switching between all your units and all your bases and shit like that. So, no, I mean, I don't know why no one said anything about it at all, ever. Like, I think it's a solid game. So, hopefully by the time I beat it, we'll get into that. But
Yeah.
it doesn't really reinvent the wheel from the first one, but the stuff they added's cool. And it tells a nice little side story for the Halo universe.
Just a fun, little side project.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass, so if you have Game Pass and you want to play a simpler RTS and you like the Halo universe, give it a shot.
Yeah.
And Fall Guys finally came to everything but PlayStation. So I booted it up and started playing a couple games. Fun game. Stupid fun game. I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, if like you ever watched that game show Wipeout,
Yeah.
just imagine that in video game form.
Yeah, it's literally that's the obstacle course one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just all about obstacle courses and getting there within qualifying within a certain amount of people. And then it goes, 5 rounds into 5th round's the crown round. And goddamn was I so close to getting the crown. I fucking choked on my jump and grab of the crown, and I just let victory slip away from me.
So Jim, are you saying we need to stream this?
Yeah, I would be a fun one to stream. It's a solid one. I think it's on Xbox now too. So
Oh yeah, if it's on Xbox, we have to stream it.
yeah,
Can you, when you're playing, I think it would make sense. Does it have like open chat with everyone you're near or everyone in the game?
I mean I played it on Switch, so I don't know. But I would assume there'll be a party chat thing.
I imagine that'd be pretty interesting.
That would be interesting.
Damn. Okay, so you actually did a decent amount of gaming. See, me, I've been fucking around with this game. It's like an indie title called Moonin, Munin. I think it's Moonin.
Okay.
It's a puzzle game, and it's just like a platform puzzler. But the stage, you can rotate every section of the stage until you get the pattern right to get to the things you need. So it gets real complicated. And there's like 9 levels, or 9 levels and like 5 or 6 stages in each level. So it's really cool. It can get really hectic, but it's one, man, I enjoy for a moment because I'm like, this is kind of chill. And then I get pissed off. I'm like, this is too goddamn complicated.
Yeah.
It doesn't help. I'm usually drinking when doing it. But that's kind of cool. And then I tried Overwatch for the first time. It's like, it's crazy to me because the first 2 games, I didn't get a kill. And even in the practice, there is so much you need to know and learn about the classes of this opponent and their specials and what your special does. And, I'm playing with the Call of Duty Halo mindset of oh, I'm the gunner guy. I go forward and no, I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to hang back. So finally by, I think the 4th game or so, I actually got 22 kills, which I don't know if it's good, but it seemed good. But it was really fun. And a lot of people stopped by. So I appreciate everyone who stopped by giving the advice, but I'll definitely keep playing it. The nice part was it was $40 for the original game with all DLC, and it includes the second game.
Oh,
So I'm like, that was a no-brainer
interesting.
because that's a lot of content.
Yeah, I heard that apparently the original game was 6-on-6 fights, and for the second one, they changed it to 5-on-5 fights, and they're getting rid of the 6-on-6 from Overwatch 1. And just making it all streamlined through, which is weird.
Yeah. What I like about it is this is not a game where you have to worry about a teammate. I mean, Grant, I'm sure you can have terrible
that's the
teammates.
thing, because I've heard that this is one of the hardest communities to get into. So did you play with party chat on or anything, or no? I guess maybe not because you were streaming.
A few people did try to turn on party chat or were typing things.
Yeah.
It was also my first time ever using a keyboard and mouse on FPS, which I like almost got carpal tunnel from like trying to use a keyboard. Like I don't use a keyboard like that. Like that threw me off.
Right.
Using a mouse is of course way easier when it comes to shooting.
Oh, you did it on PC.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it was interesting. Some people, like, I realized at some point they were like, hey, soldier, like not knowing they were, because that was my guy's name. They're like, do this or do that. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm level 1. You're like 97. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you've been playing since 2017.
Yeah.
The first time.
But no, I get the appeal. I get, like, if you were into it, it is interesting coming at it so new that I'm like, I haven't had that feeling of being so helpless in a, like, especially a multiplayer game.
Right.
Because I feel like any modern kind of shooter, I can hold my own. Like, I'm not going to be embarrassed. Mm-hmm. I was embarrassed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
So you should try it, Jim.
I'll give it a go. Why not?
But yeah, other than that, I really haven't played much. I'm hoping to beat that Moonin game, and then one of the games we're going to be reviewing very, very shortly.
I know where this is going.
So, Chambers, what do we got this week from Patreon?
Actually, real quick, we're recording this on the 27th. So right now we are doing a giveaway on Twitter with Premium Edition games. So we're giving away a physical copy, Brian, you can throw up a picture here, of Phoenotopia Awakening. So I've never played it. It's actually like a remake like an enhanced remake of a Flash game.
Yeah.
And they add a shitload of content, and it's like Zelda 2 mixed with Metroid elements. So huge, like 25, 50-hour action-adventure kind of game. So the giveaway's doing numbers right now. So I guess it's a game people really either like or excited about. So
yeah.
It's got cool little pixel art style and shit like that. So yeah, definitely head on over to Twitter. Very easy. Just follow both of our accounts, like and retweet, and tag a buddy. So
Jim, can I win it?
No. Unless you make an alt, and then no one will ever know.
Ooh. Burner accounts, here I come.
Haha.
So, what do we got now from our awesome patrons?
Yes, patreon.com/DrinkABeerandPlayAGame. Where first it was $2 a month. You can ask a question that we'll answer.
One of the chunks.
Ringing endorsement for the beer.
I just wasn't expecting it.
Question you can answer in each and every single one of these Power Hour podcasts. So... This is quite the night. Quite the episode. But, so, only one question. Well, actually, he did a question and then he deleted it, but I did like that first question, too.
Do both.
Say, fuck it, balls to the wall. So, his question so both are from JD Mains. So, the first one that he had before was, can you really say you loved the game if you didn't follow the storyline closely?
I would think... Excuse me. I know Jim's answer is yes, because he doesn't follow storylines at all. I think
words are for suckers.
I think it's the same as people. What would be the point of buying a really expensive PC if you only use it to play solitaire? Like, if you're not going to appreciate the game for its fullest extent, you're just hurting yourself. Of course, you can still love the game. You're just not getting the full value out of it. So I think it's silly to ignore story.
Well, obviously, here's the thing. Gotta get my hand in camera if I do. Here's
the thing, guys.
Here's the thing. I consider story for the most part in a game to be like icing on the cake. First thing I want is an actual solid game to play to go along with my story. Now, I've played some games before that I've enjoyed that are just purely story-based or like even a visual novel and shit like that. So, but I've had an instance where I absolutely hated the story of a game, and I still absolutely loved playing it, though.
Okay.
And that game was Sunset Overdrive. That game's story and sitting through the storyline and the set pieces and shit like that, horrific. It's cringy. It's try hard. Like, it tries too hard to be like, you know, like post-punk, hardcore kid, kind of like rah-rah shit.
But is it at least self-aware and being cringy?
Yes and no.
Is it trying too hard to be in on the joke?
Yes.
Okay.
It tries so hard to be in on its own stupid joke that it's just stupid.
I gotcha.
And like, I was like, oh, this is kind of lame. And then as it's going on, I'm like, man, this just gets worse and worse. Hey, hey, the guy from the Melvins is here. That's cool. Oh, he's actually talking and he shouldn't be voice acting. So, shit like that. But I absolutely love the gameplay. So, it was like, imagine like a Saints Row or Hulk Ultimate Destruction with like the goofy powers and just like mixed with Tony Hawk and you're grinding everywhere,
Yeah.
shooting and grinding and all that stuff. Absolutely love the gameplay. Storyline was horrific.
Okay.
But I still love the game. And I put like, the 20-some hours into it and shit like that. So,
Yeah.
if the gameplay is good enough, I can overlook a bad story. I guess now that doesn't really apply to like an RPG or something because at that point, like you're mostly there for the story.
I'll be honest. For most of the games I feel like we grew up with, especially the simpler ones.
Most didn't even have a story.
Well, or like if you really ask me, like what's actually going on in Streets of Rage 2, I'd be like, I think they stole Adam. And Mr. X controls crime.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anything else beyond
Perfect
that. So,
and then they get their pro wrestler best friend and the 12-year-old brother of Adam. It makes perfect sense.
And I mean...
and in the third one, a kangaroo helps you.
If you ask me the story behind Super Mario Brothers, the original 3 on NES, I'll be like, Princess keeps getting captured.
Dinosaur wants him some of that royal poon.
Yep. And she conveniently is always captured.
Convenient.
Captured. So yeah, I do believe you can absolutely love a game. I think though, if you are playing a game like, let's say, A Plague's Tale, if you don't love that story, you probably can't love that game.
I definitely got sucked into the story.
Yeah, so
because it did a good job of like building the what the hell's going on here.
Yeah, so that's a game where if like
that game's really built around its setting too, though.
No, it's the setting, but like it is like you get emotionally invested in the chick and her brother, and then even when they meet the other two, like
yeah, I guess without playing a bad story version of that, like
that's what I mean. So
yeah.
if like for some reason you played a game and the story just didn't grab you, even if the gameplay was good.
Or if I'm spending the whole time just trying to skip the storyline and shit like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah, then you'd be like, yeah. At that point, you're kind of like, yeah, I like the game, but I hated the story. So
yeah, there's something to be said though. We've talked about before. A lot of there are plenty of games out there that are meant to be basically interactive movies.
Yeah,
and they can be good, like the Until Dawn. The horror game, and that new one that's out that Pam just reviewed.
Quarry?
Yeah. I think it's the same people. They also did Sea of Medine, something like that. So there are those that are out there that's what they do, and people love them. So, no, good question.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, this can be the makeup for me not saying everyone gets 2 questions last week when we took the week off. So everyone not named JD Maines, you can ask an extra question next week. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. But next up from JD Maines,
handshake champ.
Would you? All right, let's get topical. Would you ever not play a game because a studio made a political statement, like opposition to overturning Roe v. Wade? I don't think it matters, but the press seems to think it's worth following.
I am blissfully ignorant to most of those things unless Jim brings it to my attention, or it's a day where I actually focus on what's going on Twitter.
Or it's such a big story that we have to throw it in as a topic.
Exactly. Like I honestly would never know. Now, let's say I find out, for example, playing Overwatch. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together that it's Blizzard and Activision. Someone pointed it out. I still played it because I don't know. I would look at it like, if you look at it like, even if it's the top dog of the company that's the piece of shit, there was probably hundreds of people that were good people developing it, and it could still be a good product. I think it gets more weird, like if you're saying it was one indie developer, one guy by himself, and he was a creep or something. It's part of the reason why like I can't really enjoy Jeepers Creepers anymore. The director is a pedophile.
Oh, really?
And yeah, so
did not know that.
I can't really watch that knowing that. That's a different
bit of a fly in the ointment. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm that type where it's like a little bit. And now, granted, you can make the argument the movie has a bunch of other people,
right?
But like, yeah, video game, I don't ever look at. Like, I don't think the head of Blizzard, who we may talk about soon, had any hands-on development of Overwatch.
No, he's never had hands-on
So,
development of anything,
I-
except for his hands-on a poor intern. Allegedly.
So, fuck Jim.
In Minecraft. Haha, can't be sued.
Damn it. So I don't necessarily buy into that. And especially, you know, I get more like I'd be not okay if somebody actually did something versus if they're not just making a statement. Like, statements to me are everyone, whether you like them or not, has shitty opinions or good opinions. That's not going to affect my video game playing necessarily.
And I mean, for all you know, a lot of people could be just saying the right thing, but behind closed doors, they don't give a shit, or they're doing the opposite anyway.
Yeah, I don't trust most people's...
We see it with big business all the time.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to say that I'm a better person who could see certain things and be like, oh, well, I'm morally offended, I can't do it. But every once in a while, if you have a thing that I like... I kind of want the thing that I like. I'm just being honest here, but I mean, like, obviously with like something like Roe versus Wade, like, I mean, I'll just throw it out there quick. Brian doesn't have to do anything, but you know, like, I'm totally against them taking it away because, for one, well, I've said it before. I don't want the government telling anyone what to do with their bodies. So it comes down to everything. So leave us the fuck alone. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, like if someone came, like obviously if like a small developer came out and he's like, nah, fuck these whores, I'd be like, that's a little iffy there. So it probably would turn me off to certain things, like you said, especially if it's a smaller crew. I think it's easier to do the boycott thing when it's like an individual entity, like say like an artist or a musician or something like that, or you know like a podcast host or shit like that.
Yeah,
because you know that's something you can focus in on, and it's also easier to do it even depending on how big of an audience they have. Like, I think, like, say, like, an Activision, like we were talking about earlier, an Activision's too big to fail, and a boycott's never going to affect them anyway. Because, like, we saw last year with all the shit that happened. As soon as Diablo 2 Remastered came out, everyone just bought it anyway. So,
yeah.
It's almost like a losing battle. But, I don't know. Like, no, I definitely respect the people who can stick to their guns and shit like that. But, you know, for me, I mean, I keep up with all this shit more so than you do, obviously.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've seen a lot of things where I'm like, yeah, I guess I won't touch this now. So it really just depends on the product for me, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, maybe if it's a thing I'm on the fence on, I'll be like, nah. But if it's a thing I really want,
yeah. I mean, hey, you know what? But that's an honest statement. To the people that say I would never buy this and then do buy it, you know, whatever. Or, you know what? If you are a little bit morally ambiguous and you're on the fence, just wait for it to go on sale or buy it secondhand.
Right.
And then maybe you can feel better. I don't know.
Yeah, if you're not giving it directly to them.
Yeah.
And I mean, when it comes to big business especially, like, if you're not going to buy something from a big business because they've done something shitty, you're never buying anything ever again.
I mean, let's be honest. You shouldn't be on your phone.
There's a lot of plausible ignorance that we throw towards everything that we use in every day. So
yeah,
it's a tough thing.
Yeah, you know, you could, if you have something very specific you want to stand against, fine. But
yeah, I mean, like, it's very easy to grandstand, but at the end of the day, we're all gonna be hypocrites, you know, in one way or another too.
Yeah. So, do you? If you want to boycott it, I support it. If you don't, you don't. But what I would say is, don't give people shit if they choose not to boycott with you, because yeah, everyone's different.
Spoken like a man who's never been on Twitter.
That's the beauty of it, is I know none of this shit. So be ignorant like me, I guess. I don't know.
Make life easier. But yeah, that wraps up the question for this week. So yeah, great questions, JD.
Thank you, bud.
Yeah, thank you for, what do you call it? Now, once again, if you want to support the page and ask a question for yourself, head on over to Patreon and check out all the other tiers for bonus episodes, game requests, movie review requests, all other kinds of bonus content. So
awesome. Thank you, bud. All right, so we are back. Got a new beer in hand, Chambers. What did you think of that mango smoothie?
I mean, it was really smooth. And just to keep up with you, I downed the last like half of my other one. And I mean, that went down super smooth. So yeah, that was really tasty. That's a really like perfect summer beer, I got to say.
Speaking of
Would
keeping
be like
up,
a perfect poolside one.
Speaking of keeping up and what you didn't do at too many games.
I kept up.
You did not keep up.
I kept up.
Damn, Dan got there 4 beers late and still beat you.
Well, we should have been better at Fuck the Dealer.
So, yes, our quick little recap for Too Many Games. As tradition requires, we played some Fuck the Dealer. Jim did not get fucked this time.
Yeah, normally every single time, including last year when Brian wasn't here and my disastrous year happened. Yeah.
I mean, the year before wasn't exactly great.
Wasn't
either.
a shining moment, but it was way better than the year before for me. I guess I should say 2019. Anyway. But yeah, so Brian and I got to our hotel by like 2:30, 2:45. Dan showed up by like a little after 3.
Yeah.
Quarter after 3-ish or something like that. He had traffic. And yeah, as we do as tradition, like you said, we play a drinking game to start. So we played Fuck the Dealer. And we played about 3 games of it, I want to say.
Yep.
I think all of us were the big loser at one point for each one.
But Jim was noticeably... He only had one
I
little
was
streak.
like a closeout one time, but like I never had like an awful streak of being fucked in any of the games.
No, it was pretty mellow, but we figured out there was approximately 24 beers finished before we went to the con.
25.
Was it 25?
Yep.
Yeah, so and since Dan and I drank a little more, it was almost 8 beers a person.
Yeah.
And then we went to the con,
Went immediately to the beer stand.
went to a beer stand.
Well, actually, first we met up with Square Painter.
Square.
So,
Yep.
You know, our buddy Adam, you know, we stopped by, talked to him a little bit every single time. So, super good dude. You know, talked to him and his wife Nina for a little bit. So,
Yep.
And after that, then we went for the booze.
Right to the booze, which of course the line is always crazy. Stacked up on 3 of the tall boys, which we were trying to figure out.
I think we're doing Bud Light Lime, weren't we?
So no, well, I don't know.
I think
what
I
you were
bought
doing.
Bud Light Lime.
I was doing. I started off. I think I stuck with Coors, but then like I got a Guinness, and then at some point someone asked for a Heineken, so I ended up like
I don't
the amount
remember
of random shit I bought. I don't even know what I looked at the bill later. I said, "What the? I bought too much," but they were roughly this size, right? Or were they?
They were bigger. They were like 20 ounces.
Okay, so yeah, they were 20 ouncers. So went through a lot of those, but then we were able to meet up with our good buddy Michelle from PD's Power Hour. We checked out her sister's stand, and that's where both Jim and I got our games from the convention. And for me, I found 3 obscure ones that I never see randomly, and I don't go online to look for. But House of the Dead 3, Spawn Armageddon, and Legacy of Kain Defiance. I am a sucker for original Xbox games because they're never crazy pricey, and they always still run pretty damn good. Especially
Yeah, with a few exceptions, it's still a pretty cheap console to collect for.
Exactly. And a lot of them are still running fine on my 360 too. So you don't, I mean, I have the original Xbox right there, but yeah, so that was a no-brainer. And Chambers, you got the TurboGrafx game, right?
Yeah, I didn't bring it with me, but you can throw a picture here. I got Pac-Land for the TurboGrafx 16, and it wasn't a bad price either. Like every time I'm there, I try to get a TurboGrafx game, and this is the first one I bought in ages. But I checked out the prices like later on, and I was like, oh, it's actually very fairly priced. And then you don't have to pay for the shipping and the tax and all the other eBay bullshit.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, that was a decent value. They were fair with their prices. But of course, like every of these stands, they always have their showcase games in the back. So there was like a complete in box Magical Chase in a case, and there is an NWC and shit like that. So it's
Yep.
like, man.
And we should mention, actually, as soon as we got into the con, we met up with Todd Snarcast.
Yep.
And then we also met up with James and his buddy. I don't remember his buddy.
Josh, I think.
I think it was Josh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically, as soon as we got the video games, then it got real interesting because we remember our buddy Joe from Too Many Games and also...
from Video Games Monthly and Premium Edition.
Yes, yeah. I always say Too Many Games when I mean to say Video Games Monthly. But that's when the shots came into play. And
so him and his other Premium Edition guy, was he also named Josh? I forget.
yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, yeah, it was those little bottles of 99 bananas and then blue raspberry vodka.
Yep. We
And
did like 5 of those.
It got... that is when there was a noticeable...
This is before like 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
And keep in mind, we haven't eaten. Like, we didn't... Like, I ate before I got Jim to go to the hotel.
Yeah, and I ate before he got me.
We snacked on a few little, like, pretzels, but there was no getting food in between. So all I'll say is like that would be the moment, like the SpongeBob thing, like a few hours later, because it got very interesting and a lot we're gonna save for when we talk with Dan. We saw some a cosplay dance off.
Dance off. Yep.
We somehow lost our ride and had to get a different ride to the after party.
We had a ride. I don't even remember that.
Well, we were supposed to have a ride. Another thing we'll save for Dan.
Okay,
But
yeah,
we
I
did
don't
have a
remember
ride.
this.
We met plenty of interesting people.
Okay, I mean, I think I'm remembering a lot.
That wanted to give us rides. My tradition.
Wanted to give some of you rides.
My tradition of my tradition stands. I'll say that.
We'll save that for later. This is all built up to another episode.
Yeah. It was interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, we ran into a bunch of people and shit like that too. So besides talking to all of them, like during the after party, I spent a lot of time hanging out with a wrestler buddy of ours named Matthias.
Yeah. Wait, before we go to that, we should also mention we did an interview.
Yeah, no. So last year, I famously did an interview for Mint Salad's page where I made a complete asshole of myself. Luckily, this time, what do you call it? It was both Brian and I, and we weren't completely destroyed yet.
Yeah.
So, we talked to their whole crew. So, Mint, Riley, Trixie, and Bird, we got to see them again and say hi. So, always good time seeing them. We ran into, like people like JLove81, got to say hi to Kieran again, talked to the guys who run Eon, which does like those plugs for the HD plugs for the GameCube and the N64. Got to bullshit with them for a little bit. Briefly said hi to people like Hack the Movies and Dreamcast Guy, shit like that. Ran into this guy who's just starting out. His name's Too Elusive. He was Sonic Jet Set Radio Future.
Awesome cosplay.
Very nice guy.
Yeah.
And we got to actually talk to fucking Johnny Cage himself, Dan Pacino, during the after party.
That was that was insane. Like, I kept hearing people say Johnny Cage, and I wasn't putting two and two together. Now, I should also mention, thanks to Michelle, I also tried one of the what I felt like was strongest bourbons I've ever had, because it felt like gasoline burning my throat.
That I took one sip of that. We go to the after party, we sit down at the table, we get our food, fucking finally, and she hands me this little snifter of the bourbon. I take one sip, I'm like, oh. Decide to take another sip, and I'm like, nope. Brian's looking at me going, you better fucking finish that.
Well,
and I was like, no.
Especially because she was being gracious and passed. I know with her, it's good quality shit.
Oh, yeah.
But she passed it to like everybody, and like 2 or 3 of them rejected it. So I dumped 2 into one, and I took a sip. The first sip, I just went, oh, like it burned. I was like, what the And she said, it was stronger. It was 50 proof, or 60 proof. I can't remember. It was high. That's all I'm going to say. So it's like maybe a hair under 110.
Yeah.
And I made the very stupid mistake of like, you know what? Instead of just sipping this, because each sip hurts, I'll just gulp it. And it wasn't a little gulp.
I don't know how that didn't come right back up.
As soon as I did it, I took my beer and I did this. So it went down with my beer. And almost immediately, I felt it go, woo, and I went, and I just waited a second, and then finally, it like just decided to settle down. But it was rough. And then, and then we did a shot of Jack to like, as we were leaving, like,
at the very end of the night. I think I maybe had one beer during the whole after party because I was just like, I was done.
That's when I had goddamn Heineken's. I don't know why I went to Heineken's either. But yeah, I went to Heineken's at the after party.
Oh, no wonder we all had headaches.
Yeah. So
those were bad headaches. But yeah, as we're leaving, Joe again from Bream Edition, he was like, "Hey, let's do a shot." And we're like, "Okay." And then as we're doing it, we're like, it's just Jack. We're doing it. We're like very appreciative, obviously, but that was the wrong time for that.
Listen, we are gentlemen, and we will not say no to a shot.
Of course not.
We'll
be rude.
We'll regret it.
Oh yeah.
But we won't say no. So yeah, I would say all in all, it was a ton of fun. It did feel like the convention, like more so than any other, like we've been to any others, more so than the last time I was there, we literally probably did 4 tables tops. Whereas the first time, like, I feel like we spent a lot of time doing tables.
Yeah, a lot of people, like, they were talking to me. They're like, "Oh, how are the prices this year?" And I was just like, "I couldn't tell you."
No idea.
Like,
yeah.
PD's sister, I'm like, fucking player. I think her table, like, they run a store in Pottstown called Player's Choice.
Well, I'll put the name up as we're talking.
Yeah, so if I'm wrong, we'll have the right one down here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like their prices were good. Premium edition, they had their table, so like they had theirs priced how they price them, which was fine. And then like Eon's was like, it wasn't any more than what it was in their store. So
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you about like actual vendors how the prices were.
Not at all. And like, we didn't stop at any of the like the bigger YouTuber or any other channels tables. Like,
yeah, we didn't talk to any big YouTubers at their tables.
I mean, we want honestly.
we wanted to talk to Ian and a couple other people.
Yeah.
And there's some other people I wanted to run into that like I've ran into before, like I've been talking to online, but the booze just took over.
Yeah, it was. It got to the point I was babysitter for a little chunk of it, wrangling cats, I'd say.
I don't think I got lost. I was falling asleep at the table at one point, but
I did fall asleep a little bit at the table.
I need a little pick me up.
But yeah, no, like you said, it was a great time. I'm excited to do it again and even try out other cons in the future. So yeah, man, it's
yeah. Keep an eye on the Twitter. Brian might be going to another con relatively soon. So.
Yeah, but no, I would say if we're trying to keep some of it brief because, like I said, there's a lot we want to cover with Dan. So yeah, just I would say make sure you tune in for that video later this week.
Yeah, Dan did a second day and he's like, yeah, he thinks he got the con crud. So he's not up for a full episode, but we'll do a little mini one with him during this week.
Yeah, for sure. But
yeah, once again, like if you ever see us at one of these conventions, please come up. Feel free to say hi. We're pretty much just giving out T-shirts to like anyone.
I don't even.
One of them.
We gave out a lot of T-shirts. I don't even know how many we gave out.
So we brought like 20 some, but
yeah, we gave out a lot. But that's the thing is like we're not we're there. We like talking with folks, and especially like if you ever see us, talk to us because that's what we're there to do. Honestly.
Yeah.
So no, it was a great time. Can't wait to do it again. But Chambers, I should ask. And I forgot to mention this as I poured it. This is the beer I was telling you about from Mudhen.
Okay.
So this was the brewery. Did you go there in Wildwood? You said no. Right?
Nah, never been there.
So really great brewery with amazing food. This is their Wildwood Haze, 7%. None of their beers were holy shit, but they were all like above average. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this one I didn't even.
So kind
try
of like another flying dog, but maybe a little better.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
All right.
Yeah, like so. I don't know. What are you thinking of it so far?
So far, it's good. It kind of just feels like a slightly citrusy, hazy IPA.
Yeah.
So like, I didn't really look into any of the details about it, but yeah, haze IPA. So
Now, Jim, there is one very, very important reason why I brought up IPAs.
Okay.
I know we've been kind of IPA whores since NoIPAMay is done.
Right.
And I know we are almost a month out, but between missing it because I was sick or whatnot, we actually did pick the winners, and prizes are going out. I wish I had the goddamn prize in front of me, but I will take a picture and post it here as best I can. So we had custom glasses made up for NoIPAMay. They're custom beer glasses with our logo on it, and some stickers and some pins. We had 4 winners this year because you guys really showed up. It was really awesome. We truly, truly appreciate it. We'll make a little post on our site about this. Jim will tweet it out.
Yep.
But our winners this year were, let me make sure I don't screw up any names because unfortunately, I only know people through most of their
Instagram handles.
But first up is, of course, at this point, is it safe to call her the queen of NoIPAMay?
She's running away with it.
Yeah. So Peekaboozy, who may be a guest in the future.
Yeah. And look, it's not like we're just like, oh, well, she's got to win again, but
no,
all of her posts got the most updates. So
also,
you can't say no to that.
Went above and beyond as far as like, I know she was really doing, I think slipped up one time, but IPAs are her favorite. So the fact that she goes out of her way, like that's really awesome.
Yeah. And she really like put out that hashtag for people too.
Yeah. So we truly, truly appreciate it. A pint-sized pint chaser. So she showed up. She showed up last year too, but this year she really showed up.
Oh, yeah.
So make sure, give her some love.
And sorry about the Lightning losing. She's a big Tampa Bay Lightning fan. They just lost the Stanley Cup.
I mean, we're from Philly. We're used to losers.
I mean, I'm happy to see someone besides the fucking Lightning win, so I don't really care. I was just being nice.
Yeah. And then there's Jamal, who has the best photography of, I'm not even into Gundam and models, but the pictures he takes, especially with beer and them, I don't know what his camera is. The dude clearly knows how to take photos really well in lighting.
Oh, yeah.
So they were just impressive as shit. And of course, our buddy Alex Perez, who always puts up some of the most creative pairings and just cool looking pictures and themes with toys sometimes. So it was a no-brainer. Had to send him that too.
But yeah, definitely. But, you know, congrats to the winners and thank you to everyone who participated. And we'll be doing it again next year.
Yeah, so the prizes will be going out, and I want to say cheers to you guys because that was really awesome. And to everyone who supported it, who joined it, coming back again next year. But you know what, Jim? You know me, I love creating these things.
All right.
There may be something in fall. That's all I'll say for now. I have something a brewing. No pun intended.
Ha 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 ha.
Pun intended.
Trying to think of like no fall, but I don't know F beers. So
Nope. I'm just gonna, you'll see. They don't call me the Punisher for nothing.
there are so many levels of which I hate that. There are so many levels.
Can I ask you a question?
Don't you dare! Don't you dare besmirch that classic movie.
So, Jim,
I'm so fucking mad right now.
would you like a handshake?
No. No, Brian, I would not. I've had my fill.
So, Jim, speaking of besmirching, let's talk
speaking
about
of people
Blizzard.
being mad about things, people, I mean, this could have been a Gamers Mad, but this is more a thing where it's like just people kind of shocked, but if you think about it, probably shouldn't be.
Are you ever shocked?
Well,
Because
also no.
So,
Long story short, Bobby Kotick, CEO of Activision Blizzard, one of the most hated men in all of gaming, largely considered responsible for the cycle of abuse and the allegations and the workplace environment, blah, 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 that happens at Activision Blizzard.
And it wasn't only he was the CEO, it was also he was directly, oh my God, brain fart, charged with, like, he was being accused directly. Not like he was just the CEO and it was happening under him. Like, he was being charged himself. So,
Right.
yeah.
But yeah, the shareholders in the stock, basically the board, voted to re-elect him as CEO. Here's why it's not surprising. Activision still makes all the money.
Still makes all the money. Well, here's the deal. What's interesting is
The millionaires on the board aren't going to care about anything as long as the money still comes in.
Well, and here's the deal. I guess I'm not shocked, but the shareholder voting, it was 533 million to 63 million
Yeah.
for him coming there. So, I mean, if you believe that very large companies don't have corruption, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're kind of living under a rock there
I
if you kind
guess-
of believe that.
I guess he wasn't.
He also, from what I heard from someone else, like because he was a guy who also kind of saved Activision, because there was a while where like they were in the shits.
Yeah.
And then he came in and, ruthless businessman, turned into a fucking juggernaut again. So I think he also owns like 25% of the shares or some shit like that. Like,
Okay.
That's why when everyone's talking about him being bought out, that's why it would have been like $100 million or something like that. So,
Yeah. Is it? Yeah. It's like,
and of course, a lot of people are saying, well, what about the Microsoft deal and shit like that? I don't know. This was a preemptive move by Activision to make sure he stays around afterwards. No one still really knows what the details of that deal are, and it
Yeah.
hasn't officially gone through yet. So, again, we were saying when that whole first big acquisition came down that what they do with Bobby is going to be a thing that people are going to hold over their heads no matter what they do.
yeah. So, this goes back to the question from Patreon, which is, I totally get it. If this decision really bothers you, don't support them.
Yeah.
I don't hold it against you. Excuse me. The thing that I find interesting is I was trying to read through. They didn't officially have a court case, or what the finding so far was. There was no evidence that he actually did it. Could people be paid off? Sure. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know. Like, that's the thing. I tend to think where there's smoke, there's fire. You know, it's not a shocker. That's the last thing I'll say about it.
At all. So even with all the employees and shareholders, I guess we can all get fucked.
I mean, yeah, what I really want to know. I mean, here's the deal. If you are someone that's really bothered by it, I want to
So
hear.
this allows him to serve 1 more year as the CEO unless he resigns or is removed. So again, they're saying which might be possible with the buyout, but yeah, I'm surprised. Well, I mean, for a lot of executives, it's only appointments, from a board for a year or 2 contract. So
Yeah. So, maybe after this year he is gone and good riddance. Maybe that saves them from, as Jim said, doing a payout. Maybe it's the cheaper option of, I mean, I'm sure he makes plenty, but I doubt he makes $100 million a year. He could.
He
Then
might.
again, he might. I don't know. It's all speculation. So,
yeah, I'm not exactly sure how much he makes, but I'm sure it's a fuckload.
yeah.
But yeah, let us know below. I don't expect anyone to be happy that Bobby Kotick is back in our listening audience, but hey, let us know below if it's actually a straw breaking the camel's back where you're like, all right, fuck Activision, not buying their thing.
So, Jim, I forgot to put it on here, but that does go seamlessly into another piece of news we missed that just recently came up. Tired Hands. Remember the
Oh yeah,
the little shitstorm there with their owner or founder, Jean Brolé the Fourth. I hate that there's a fourth behind his name.
is he an Esquire?
So remember, he was
Is
the
he
founder.
a Lord Reginald John Brulé?
Might as well be. He's your people. So remember how he was kind of kicked out because
For all the, what was it? Was it rape allegations?
well,
Inappropriate workplace?
can I say I hate the term dude bro? Because that's the dude bro culture and putting down women, minorities, things like that. I just don't like the term dude bro. Like, I don't.
Because you are one?
No, because I don't know what it like. It just sounds. It's like trivializing it. It's like too goofy.
Okay, yeah, not
It's
what
like
you mean.
it's like just be like he's a piece of shit or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah, it's to normalize it.
Dude
Be
bro
like,
is like too playful.
yeah, it's like the douchebag guy in college who has a Saturdays for the Boys
Yeah,
flag
so-
when they go tailgating.
He's back after a year of the complaints and almost kind of like this Bobby. Well, it's a little different. He's kind of like he's the founder. He stepped away.
Right.
He's learned his lesson.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And he's come back.
Did he go to therapy?
You know what? Like, honestly,
he go to celebrity therapy?
From everything I read, like, the first quote was he stepped away to do some soul searching,
Oh, God.
and he's back. He was the visionary. He founded it. Da 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 da. Now, granted, they are a much smaller company,
Right.
but here's the deal, and
Who
this is
knows? Maybe I was going to say maybe profits were hurting without his quote unquote leadership, but could also be where there's a black eye on the company anyway, and people were just staying away too. So
it's. I guess here's my question to you. Now, this guy, I doubt we'll ever have any interactions. He does look like a D-bag. He looks pretentious. But here's my question in general. Now, those allegations are not, it doesn't seem as serious as like the Bobby Kotick stuff.
right.
Is there something to be said about, should there be a time of forgiveness? Like, can people get better?
I don't think enough people get a shot at it. So, I mean, if he's back, then it's put up or shut up. So, it'll always be, it's a thing he's going to have to prove to people that, he is changed or he is better. Like, it's going to be a thing where actions are going to speak louder than words. So, if he gets a little too complacent and within, a couple months he's back to his old ways, then, it's all bullshit. But, I mean, yeah, with him, for the little bit that I know of the case, like, if he wasn't being, like, outwardly overly abusive or harassing and shit like that, if he just was an asshole that made people uncomfortable, then kind of an thing executives do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, shows what I think of most executives, but yeah, I mean, no, should he be more professional, better person? Of course. But should he get a shot? sure, give him a shot. And then if he's still a douchebag and shit like that, then throw him to the wolves. I don't give a shit.
Well, that's one of those things I look at where that's a better example of if you're really against it, that's an easy, you don't need to support it.
Right.
Like, and that could have enough ripple effect because it's small enough where you don't support it, you don't have any of your friends support it. That actually could have an impact.
Right.
It's not.
And it's going to suck for the people who work for the brewery, but I mean, breweries snatch each other up all the time with people. So, like, the people who work there, not named him, will find jobs.
Exactly. So, no, it was just interesting. I forgot to throw it on there, but as we're talking about Bobby Cack, I was like, oh, yeah, that happened.
But I think he's going to come out on Raw with Vince McMahon. Open the show. Clang a beer together.
I still don't actually really understand what happened there, Jim, and I did actually want to ask you about that. All I heard was Vince McMahon had some allegations or something. Something happened, and then like the next night he's opening Raw, and it was really awkward. That's you can understand why I'm so outside of it. That's what I heard.
So how it all started was a former female employee. No, the board of directors was looking into an allegation against McMahon and head of talent relations John Laurinaitis, the former Johnny Ace, brother of Road Warrior Animal. About an ex-employee that they paid $3 million to basically go away and shut up after an alleged affair happened.
With Vince and her?
I think it was more with Laurinaitis, but I think Vince just paid the money to send her away. But Vince has his own laundry list of allegations over the history of time.
Well, I was going to say, I'm amazed he's made it this far without more things coming to light.
It's a lot of things that have come to light, but that have always also been kind of just shoved under the rug and shit like that too. Both by him and just by the world in general. And there's actually a good theory out there that because he's a carny, he's a pro wrestling man, promoter. He's a carny. People don't expect better. And then in a lot of ways, they don't really care.
Okay.
And I mean, it was funny because when he came out on Raw, people were singing along to the theme song. It's like, oh shit, Vince McMahon's here.
Yeah.
Like it was still an event. So
when he came out, did he announce like he's leaving or so? Like
no, when he fucking all right. So it was even more bizarre, and like you can kind of get the idea of what he was doing, because like WWE slogan is then, now, and forever.
Okay.
So he came out and said, our slogan's always been then, now, and forever, but there's also one more: together. Welcome to SmackDown. I was like, so you cheeky son of a bitch. You're saying we're all in this together.
I mean,
you're nothing without me.
I mean, well, here's the deal. Love him or hate him, he is the single biggest entity in wrestling ever.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Changed it, molded it, created it for what it is today. Nothing would be here wrestling-wise without him.
It wouldn't have its flashes of mainstream success without him, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Or the size and power and the money-making. Like, if it was still the
that's
territories.
My point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, wrestling would be around, but it would still, probably more be territories.
It would be a complete joke. The Rock would not be The Rock without it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we wouldn't have The Rock and Austin and shit like that, like, with the Attitude Era and, like, all those sites and shit like that.
Yeah.
No, obviously not.
So, yeah, there'd be no precious AEW for all you dorks with AEW. It is what it is, but that's weird.
But, yeah, I mean, like, there's tons of, like, stories were resurfacing about how, like, he basically raped the first WWF female referee back in the 80s and shit like that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently it happened in the limo or something like that. So, yeah, you can check out that story if you want to check it out and read all the gory details. And of course,
I don't think I want to, Jim.
There's always the famous, the Jimmy Snuka murder cover up and all the steroid trial and the Benoit shit and the other people who have been, abused over the years and killed themselves after abuse allegedly and shit like that. So yeah, a lot of dirty laundry there.
Huh. I guess I'm not shocked.
Yeah, I mean, I was. Again, the most shocking thing is nothing's ever happened. But again,
but then again,
they wave
like
off
you
the carny.
said, do they think it's something like he's serious, or like he's a real, legit businessman?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Speaking of carnies, I'm trying my best. Here.
I don't think that wasn't your finest transition,
This
Bri.
isn't a carny thing, but this is an interesting little arcade device.
Yeah, so every once in a while we like to talk. This almost feels like something I think we talked about like 2 years ago, very briefly.
I feel like when I first saw it, I was like, I feel like I saw. I don't know. It didn't spark an immediate thing, but I felt like same way. Like maybe this was something.
So from GlitchBit is the company, and they actually like reached out to us on Twitter and just sent us their like this promotional video that's going to be playing here. And they came up with this arcade unit called the Retro Raccoon. So it is a bunch of little simple mini games that you can play. It's a 4-player arcade cabinet that has one stick per person and one button per person. So super simple games.
Yeah.
But it's also got a coaster for your beer. So the built-in mechanic is that to activate certain things in the game.
Well, to start it, like to have your character even do anything, you have to have the beer in there.
You have to have the beer in there, yeah.
Yeah, and then when you lose, you have to take it out. It won't go until you take it out and take your sip. So it's like a forced drinking game.
Right.
Which
for a page like us is right up our goddamn alley.
Which, if we want to get sent one, we can give you the P.O. box.
I did look up. I was like, I wonder how much one of these cost, and like, it's like $5,000.
So if you want to send us one,
so GlitchBit, if you would love to have us show it off in person, then we'd make room. We'd make some room. We'd make that.
We would do plenty of videos, and we could get the full extent of Jim's drunkenness.
Oh yeah, you get the full gym experience out of that goddamn game. We get our buddies over and shit like that. Make a real day out of it.
I love I love the gimmick of it. I guess my only worry is,
and they are out there in the wild in like a bunch of different cities right now at different barcades and shit.
I was gonna say it just has. That's the only thing is it limits itself to just barcades.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put it in a normal bar too.
In theory, they are interesting. They don't say beer, but they show beer. Like you could put another drink in there. It would just be weird. Like kids are like, "Oh man, I gotta keep drinking this water."
Sure thing, Timmy. Just drink that soda pop.
Now it's a cool little thing. I'm personally always for gimmicky stuff. By the way, speaking of gimmicky stuff, have you been to any like actual full arcades recently? Like when was the last time? Like even going down the shore, like did you go to Boardwalks and go?
Yeah, no, I mean I go to the Boardwalk arcades and all that.
Have you seen the beer pong arcade game?
I want to say I did.
So it every arcade I went to. So they have the basketball machines,
right?
They have fast pitch.
Oh yeah. The beer pong arcade.
They're straight up number one. Let me tell you the bullshit with this thing. So this one is you have 30 balls to get all. I think they have 10 cups.
It's either 10 or 16. I forget.
Yeah. And multiple times I kept getting in the same cup that was still lit, like it wouldn't unlight. So that was pissed me off.
I can see your rage building.
But then there's also a timer, so it is addictive. Like me, I love getting competitive with beer pong.
Right.
So I was actually doing really good, but like I said, the one like it was just broken, and I remember like I pinged the ball at it and I broke the cup, and I went, "Oh shit!"
How the hell did you do that,
Jim? Do I break stuff?
Well,
do I break stuff?
This microphone's on borrowed time, so yes, you do.
Is it always my fault?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. The answer is
yes.
I'm the victim.
You're a bullshit. That's what you are.
Listen, that parking meter had it coming.
Yeah.
I'm the victim.
I'll have to bring up that story one day.
But no, like I saw that and I love that because I was like, that is such a goofy gimmick. Where like even my kids like they're just like, oh, it's like another fun game.
Right.
I want to
see the ball.
I want to see more gimmicky arcades like that. Like I don't know how you do it, and I'm sure it's super dangerous. I want to see a real life tapper.
Oh, that would be fun as shit.
Once again, no idea how you do that safely, but figure it out.
It would have to be plastic mugs.
Yeah. It just I don't know.
Waivers for alcohol.
Lots
poisoning.
of waivers, but yeah, like you said, I'm a sucker for those type of arcadey, gimmicky, and this is a really cool looking one. So go ahead and send us this. And
yeah, we would love to see it.
Yeah,
we'd love to give it a go.
Yeah,
or at the very least, ship one to somewhere in Philly and give us the heads up. We can do the local premiere.
They better get it arcade.
That would be cool.
Yeah. So, Chambers, for our last topic of the night,
No.
I know you usually are the one who puts up lists, but I found one. This isn't going to be shocking. Most of them, I decided to look at it before I put it up here. They're not going to be that shocking, I feel like, to us.
Okay.
But they're the 10 unpopular opinions about classic video games according to Reddit.
Ugh.
So,
I already hate it because of Reddit.
and it comes to us from Screen Rant. So, the first one is Weak Mega Man. Basically saying, the people on Reddit are saying that Mega Man game is not that good, and that Mega Man 2 is one of the weakest NES Mega Man games. So, most people like...
I've never been huge on Mega Man games.
Okay.
'Cause-
But like 2, I think because of soundtrack, that's why it's my favorite.
Right.
And I know there are better
And it's
mechanics
the
in
easiest
other
one
games.
to cheese.
Oh, yeah. But I feel like, is it... I mean, I guess it is unpopular to a degree, but...
I just hate Mega Man games because they don't reward, like, reaction or skill. It's just all about memorizing and, like...
Yeah. And then
knowing what's coming at
knowing
you.
what's going to beat what.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate trial and error.
Right. And that like, I have no patience for Mega Man games.
Okay, so you don't think that's that crazy?
No. Fuck,
Okay.
I'm going to be turning into a Redditor by the end of this, ain't I? God damn it.
Sonic in the trash. Basically, the idea that all Sonic games are trash.
All right, I'll disagree. I won't say all.
Well,
I'll say more
but-
bad than good.
But they do specify, they said, especially where it's gone in recent years.
Oh, that's the
Where I'm
safest
like-
goddamn statement ever.
Yeah, so they said most people
How is that
agree.
unpopular? That's like
Well, that's why I'm
the
like-
current like meta.
Well, exactly. So when I saw that, I said, okay, that's a little weird. This one's interesting. You and I agree with this, and maybe we're in the minority.
Okay.
Earthbound is dated. Basically saying it's, even though a lot of people consider it best RPGs of all time, a lot of people say, not really. And it just doesn't cut it anymore.
I haven't spent enough time with it to have an opinion.
Okay. Yeah. I'm kind of indifferent to that one. This next one is to me a little more controversial. Crash Team Racing is better than Mario Kart.
There is a strong contingent of people who think that.
I've never played it.
You know what? I mean, I haven't played the original one in a long time, but back in the day, that really went to... You know what? That went toe-to-toe with Mario Kart 64, I would definitely say.
Yeah.
And I think overall it probably was a better designed game. I mean, it came out later, so
Yeah.
it had time to stew. Much like Diddy Kong Racing, it had time to stew and add more shit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't think that's that crazy of an opinion.
Okay.
I think it's fair. You can make a fair argument.
The next one, I feel like
Now, the new Crash Racing, I wasn't a fan of.
I said, I'd be interested. You know what? As I said, every time I've seen copycats of kart racing, I even had fun with that Mortal Kombat kart racer.
Yeah.
But like even we've talked multiple times, PlayStation All Stars.
Well, that was a Smash clone.
No, I'm saying whenever I see clones of those, like I found them to be pretty good.
Yeah, like Sonic and All Stars Racing was good, even though Sonic Team Racing was meh.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's been other ones. Obviously, Garfield Kart, the best one.
What Game Boy system was that for, Jim?
Oh, right. That was a Xbox One PS4 game.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Of course you would know that.
I never played it, but I do want to get it. I just don't want to pay more than $10 for it.
Well, the next one is something I've said.
Someone send me Garf Kart.
Someone send me that Duck Arcade. He can have Garf Kart. I'll
Deal.
take.
Retro Raccoons, Brian. Get it right, damn it.
So here's the deal. This next one, I've said, I think most people know, GoldenEye is overrated.
I have a problem with that statement because if you said GoldenEye aged terribly, agree 100%.
Okay.
But for its time, especially for a console-based, what do you call it, first-person shooter,
That
was the cream of the crop for a console-based
what's
one.
interesting is the statement made is GoldenEye is objectively one of the most overrated games of all time, especially considering the time period when it was released.
You can object this dick. That's what you can do, all right? That's fucking bullshit. That is said by a writer who did not grow up with it.
Here's what I will say.
Or some fucking nerd who was just a PC gamer at the time who was like, well, you get garbage compared to my fucking, Commodore 486 that's running Doom.
That's what I was going to say is, even I've said it's overrated. I still love playing it. I have the nostalgia. But I recognize it. Yeah, it didn't age well for shit.
No, it didn't age well at all.
But here's the deal. I think in the pantheon of FPS games, like Doom is probably still underrated for how well that was made for an FPS.
I mean, I think it's perfectly rated.
No, I know. Everyone loves it. I'm just trying to give an example.
I'm going to say
of, like,
how you call it underrated.
I'm saying, like, I can see GoldenEye. There is an argument of, like, it was very niche. And the unabridged love for it from the fans who played it may be a little misplaced. Maybe.
I'll say, for the common man who couldn't have a computer that could run a good game, to have a multiplayer game that fucking fun, with a very solid single-player campaign thrown around it.
Oh, no,
I love the single-player campaign.
I would say
of that
the
game.
single-player campaign is the underrated part of it.
That is the underrated part of it,
Yeah.
because everyone talks about the multiplayer.
Yeah. Next one, very close to my heart. Resident Evil Isn't Scary. Which, if you play it today, okay. They said there's basically that the games are campy, dumb, and cheesy. Meaning
You
Resident
suck
Evil
my
1.
cock. You have those dogs jump through that window when you're
Yeah.
9 years old.
Yeah.
In 1995.
If you go spoiler-free, I don't care who you are, first time playing a game, if that zombie turning his head isn't a little creepy and the dog jumping through doesn't get you with the jump scare, okay. But, I mean, I guess I can't look through the eyes of somebody who's seen the type of games they've seen and then go back to that and go, what the... That'd be like, is it equivalent to us literally looking at Atari games and being like, really?
They're going, oh, that's cute. Yeah.
So, hey, hurts my heart, but it is what it is.
I mean, I can see it, but fuck Reddit.
Metroid is out of control. Basically, Super Metroid's controls are bad. I have a feeling I'm manhandling the controller when I play, is the statement.
I partially agree.
Woo! And we know you hate Super NES.
I am turning into a Redditor. God.
You heard it here. Jim
Damn
is
it.
officially a Redditor.
God damn it. Where are my updates in karma? But here's the I think Super Metroid controls extremely well for the most part. The fucking wall jumping in that game is awful. Luckily, there's only like 2 or 3 spots where it's forced and you have to do it. But the wall jumping in that game is fucking terrible. And you have to be pinpoint accurate. The sky jumping with like the screw attack sky jumping, that's not great either. It's a little clunky. But
Okay.
the wall jumping is horrifically bad. So anyone who says like Super Metroid has perfect control, fuck you. Not perfect. Very good for the most part.
But here's the deal. Of all the things I've ever heard it praised for, I don't feel like Control's been one of them.
I mean, it's the music, it's the atmosphere, it's the exploration. But no, I mean, no, the control in my mind is pretty damn good. Even doing the fucking rope swinging's fine.
Yeah.
Like it's not amazing, but it's fine.
But
it's functional.
So what I would say is, I would not call that control bad, but there are clunky moments.
Yeah, no, I said it's very, very good, except for those 2 things.
Okay, Redditor Jim.
I hate myself.
Next one, I think you'll have a little problem with. Ocarina of Time is shallow. Ocarina of Time was revolutionary for its time, but doesn't have the depth of later entries and doesn't hold up well.
Okay.
All right, Redditor Jim, calm down. So you
These
agree.
fucking kids. These fucking kids who weren't there for it. Who weren't fucking there for it at the goddamn time. That was a game-changing adventure in its fucking day.
And I've admitted,
How fucking dare
I
you.
haven't played. I definitely never beat it.
You are out there sucking Ego Raptor's cock. That's what your goddamn problem is. You watched Sequelitis goddamn 11 years ago and you haven't let it go. Have a real opinion. Man.
All right, Chamber. So this next one is what I would I think it's one of the more interesting ones.
Okay.
And is Simon's Quest the best of the original Castlevania games? Now, I don't agree with that at all, but
Let me guess the argument, because I know what it's probably going to go with.
go on.
Let me channel the mind of a Redditor. It's easily the most complex and ambitious of the games, which they're saying probably makes it the best. And it has... Why am I blanking on the name of that goddamn song? It's like one of the most famous
Vampire
songs.
Killer?
No. Do.
Oh, Bloody Tears.
Bloody Tears.
Yep.
Goddamn, how did I blank on that? But yeah. So, I think it added a lot to Castlevania. but it was a little too ahead of its time because it's a clunky mess.
So what it claims is, somebody actually said someone went against the grain, praising a clunkier Castlevania 2, but the argument was it has the best soundtrack, it's the smoothest gameplay, and was the most atmospheric.
I mean, I guess I can see atmosphere. I can see
Which I would say atmosphere, except for 3 when you
I can't say it's smoother gameplay than 2.
Yeah.
Or then
3.
About 2, then 3.
Yeah. So I don't. Here's the deal. I could understand and maybe to a degree agree. It has the best song of the original 3.
Yeah, I'll say Bloody Tears
And
is probably the best song.
It has the most underrated soundtrack of the 3.
It's got a very solid soundtrack.
I can't decide if it's the best. I like 1 and 2 soundtrack way better than 3 soundtrack. I'll say that. It has more memorable. Yeah, it's not the best game, though. The mechanic of the nighttime shit, the easy, way too easy boss, and the ending level with no enemies and you just go Dracula and you can cheese it way too easily. And the weird cryptic shit killed it. But it tried something new. I don't think it should be hated. Like, we made the joke, like, with AVGN doing that. Everyone just said, oh, it is a bad game. And then you play and you go, it's not really that bad of a game.
No, I mean, if you want to put the time into it to, like,
Yeah.
it's just, it doesn't hold your hand to a detriment. And it's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's extremely frustrating and cryptic.
So then the last one, I don't know if this is that crazy. Old Mario versus new Mario. Basically, people are saying that the new Super Mario Brother games are better than the original NES, Super NES.
Ooh, that is brave.
Which, now here's the deal. Better is a weird thing. Because you can
say... Are they talking about, like, all the 3D ones and the new Super Mario series?
Well, that's
like
what it doesn't seem... It just says the new Super Mario Brothers games are better than the original NES, Super NES. And basically that modern Mario games have integrated improvements on technology. But they attempt to capture the magic of the older games. I think there will never be... I don't think these new games, no matter how good they are, they can ever capture the replayability and the magic that they were. Of course, graphically, they're going to be better.
Right.
Soundtracks, even if the soundtracks are great, there won't be anything more classic than the original.
They're fine, and they lean very heavily on the originals. And like, there's always the remixes of the classic Mario songs.
Exactly. So I go, yeah, it's kind of like saying like the new Doom is better than the original Doom. It's like, well, gameplay and graphics and technology.
But here's the thing, though. Like, the new Doom from the original is such a drastically different game.
True.
Where, like, that's a tough, like, opinion because there's 2 types of Mario games now. You have 3D Mario games, and you have the entire new Super Mario Brothers series, which is, like, the polished up 2D games.
Which is what I think they're actually claiming is that.
Yeah, I disagree with that. The new Super Mario games are fine. There's like a billion of them. Like, they just shit those things out.
Yeah.
Like, they're fine. They're fun. They're really fun multiplayer. They have some cool power-ups here and there. But, like, they don't touch World or 3.
They don't touch... Yeah.
Because you know what it is? Like yeah, they add a couple little gimmicks here and there and stuff like that. But, it's just, like one, it always feels a little floatier to me than, like, the old games.
Yeah.
And, like, it doesn't feel as tight. And it's definitely made to appeal to more casual audiences.
I mean...
Not saying that's a bad thing either, but like, I don't know, it just doesn't do it in a way that like ever kept my attention for all that long.
It would be that I try to like bring it back to if it's the argument of like, I know you don't know cars, but like the new Ferrari is better than one of the first Ferraris. It's like, okay, yes, it performs better.
Right.
But maybe there was something that first Ferrari did that was a little different. Like, you know, it just... I don't know if it's a fair comparison, but I think in time, you'd still probably go back to the original. And I don't think these new ones will be something that in 20 years, I think people will still go back to the original.
Yeah, like, people are going to be nostalgic for the... I mean, especially kids today, like,
yeah.
who, like, the Wii was their first system. So, like, new Super Mario Brothers Wii is going to be, like, that's going to be their... And me as a guy who didn't grow up with Mario until fucking 64, like... all like, that's a sign of a really good game when I can play it for the first time in my 20s and 30s and be like, oh shit, this does really hold up and it's really good.
Yeah.
Like the original Super Mario is basically from 1983, and I beat that for the first time recently. I was like, holy shit, man! Like this still really holds up.
So then let me ask you, how long have you known you're a Redditor?
Well, Bri, the first time I saw a cock, I went,
Talk about the beer. What'd you think of it?
maybe we should cut that.
Nope, it's staying in.
What can I say? I hate Reddit. But, yeah, so, the Mudhead Brewing Company beer. It was good. It's a very solid hazy IPA. I can't say it's done anything that much different or special from other hazy IPAs, but,
It's fine.
it's a solid drink.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. Between the two, obviously the mango I think has way better flavor,
Yeah, the
but it's
mango
also so much thicker. Even though it still goes down easy.
See, I didn't think it was as thick as you thought it was. Like, I thought it had, like, a full mouthfeel, but... What are you implying, Brian?
I did. Did I say anything?
Oh, you said it with your eye. You said it with your eyes. Your eyes told a story. But no, what do you call it? No, I didn't think it had as big of a, like it did have a thick mouthfeel, but I
Yeah.
didn't think it was, like, as
It was crazy.
big as much as you thought, yeah.
I'm trying to decide, like, obviously the Mud Hen you're gonna drink more often, but if it's summer, I would always recommend the mango. Just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I would recommend the mango, too.
Yeah.
Like, if you like it, hazy IPAs and want to try a different one, you won't be disappointed by the Mud Hen, but it's nothing special.
So with that, we want to say thank you guys so much for stopping by. Please make sure come back later this week as we recap with Dan all the other details we didn't get into with today's episode.
Can't wait for that.
So if you are watching, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. If you're listening to us on iTunes or Spotify, hit the subscribe. If you give us a 5-star rating, we will reply on this podcast. Even if you want to shit on us, just give us a 5-star and we'll talk about it. And with that, we want to say have a good night, everyone, and cheers.
Cheers, guys.